What's up, people? Anyway, somewhere my rest day might have two in a row. I have some sunglasses for no reason really, because there is no sun. Well, it has been like so for at least 10 days in a row. Rain every single day, and the weather looks like this. Allow me to display. All day, every day. Temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. That's quite low. And good Lord, must I tell you, it is very affected to the whole society. Allow me to expand slightly. It truly is a big deal. Now, better to remember, I live in Canada, right? Canada is bigger than the USA by a lot. But it is 10 times less populated. And most of us, Canadians, are clustered down in the south. As a matter of fact, in my current location, the USA is about 20 minutes from me. USA border, 20 minutes from me. That's how close we are. I'm in the southern part of Canada, right? And well, because of this, humans tend to love and be attracted to better weather, right? Sunnier, more friendly, less harsh. And that's why this land was less populated, although bigger, much larger than the USA, right? And it also prompts you to think about it from anthropology, from a lens of anthropology. Obviously, the human creed that did populate and literally colonize, that's the proper word, most of the land, which was already inhabited by native people, is the white race, the Germanic white race, meaning the Western Europeans, right? All of them are of the German descent. Even if you're English, you're German because you're Anglo-Saxons. English and Saxony are in Germany, right? If you're American white, you have some Germanic, mostly Germanic genes, unless you're Irish. That means you are Celtic. But still, the white creed did populate most of the land, and most of them are either actually English or Scottish, Welsh, and what have you, because they had the darkest weather. It's always grey in the UK, in Great Britain, and so they were pushed somehow, inherently, instinctively, from their native, gloomy, dark, grey islands, right? They became explorers. They're pushed, right? And that's because of this weather. The weather pushes you to go out all the time. It is still happening in a sense. A lot of Brits are fleeing their homeland for other reasons, though, But back in the day, the weather also pushes you to explore. It's very, very important. And let's talk about another creed, shall we, real quick. Now, the biggest empire of them all, which had the biggest, largest, contiguous landmass, was that of the Mongols. The Mongols, they conquered the most land contiguously. And the second one is that of the Umayyad Arab Empire. But the big one, which happened much later, are the Mongols, led by Genghis Khan. And guess what? Do you know what pushed them to go basically westward and conquer everything? They went everywhere. They even conquered China and India and what have you. Because of a drought, huge drought that happened in Mongolia back then, they had to survive. They had to flee their homeland, and they started conquering. They were very, very successful at it. It was very, very fast. They swept across the land. And so right now in my country, we have the weather forecast that happens in every channel. You open a channel and you see any given lady, usually it's ladies, girls, attractive girls, doing their weather forecast at the end of the news broadcast. And at this moment, you feel them being awkwardly sorry. It's like they don't know how to address the population, because it's a big deal. Believe you me, I live here since 30 years, and the weather is very important. And they're almost excusing themselves. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, it's gonna rain again, and tomorrow's gonna. I mean, you feel. That girl is feeling bad. By God, she's feeling awkward. She's feeling sorry. There's a lot of pressure upon her, and she has no control over this. But they always apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, it's gonna rain again. It's cold. The weather sucks. What can I tell you? They feel sorry. Also, yeah, the weather is important. Really is important. I have friends who live in Florida, so it's sunny Florida. If you're a rich New Yorker, most likely you want to retire in Florida. It's like the Seinfelds. Remember the Seinfelds, that sitcom? He was talking about Jewish people in New York, right? It's a trend for them. They go retire in Boca Raton or Delray in Florida, next to Miami. It's like a trend because it's sunny. But I have a lot of friends who are Floridians, right? When these guys travel to the West Coast, they get mesmerized by the less humid weather of California. So there's always another better spot than yours. Always, always. And in my reckoning, the sweetest spot, the best one, would have been right now around the New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia. This is like the sweet spot to live in the USA. To receive some snow, but it's not that cold, and it avoids the hurricanes, right? It's not southern like North Carolina, or obviously Florida is too much. Again, I have friends in Florida. They send me videos. It's so humid, they cannot even drive a drop top, so it defeats the purpose. They have AC blasting all year long. So Florida for me is too much. By the way, Florida was populated very late. It was just populated lately, right? But there was like a guy, I forgot his name. I think his name is Blumenthal, who decided to build there, and then everybody flocked there. Before that, it was just swamps, swamps and alligators. So that's the sweet spot in my reckoning in North America, right? Massachusetts as well, New England, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, although it's quite haunted by ghosts, for real. By the way, every single horror movie that you see, like The Haunting, whatever, Amityville, the freaking, whatever, every horror movie is based supposedly on a true story that happened in New England. Up here, there's a lot of sorcery and witchcraft in New England, like Massachusetts, the witches of Salem. Yeah, I knew a lot of girls from there, and they're all witchy. Believe you me, it's no joke. If you met a chick from New England, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, all these spots, they're quite witchy. That is that, people. So do tell me, send me a DM. In your reckoning, if you traveled a lot, what is the best weather? If you had the choice, if you have the ability to live wherever you want, what is the sweet spot for you to live around the world? Me, I traveled a lot, right? So up here in North America, I reckon it is the New York area. Unfortunately, it's too much populated now, right? Unless you have money, you go to what's the name of that spot? You go to the Hamptons, which is amazing weather, and it's very rich. Or Martha's Vineyard, right? That's still not populated. Obama just bought a big house there. You have your own forest. So tell me, what is the best weather for you to live in around the world? Tell me. Keen to see your answers. Salute be.